So today in this video, I want to talk about the ICT Unicorn Entry Model. And maybe you've already encountered this or already had some explanation on it, but I want to make it a little bit more simple and clear, and also when you can use it. The ICT Unicorn Entry Model actually consists of two components. We want to look for a breaker plus the fair value gap, and that makes it a high probable entry model. So we can always, of course, use only breakers. They work really well. I really love them. They're actually my favorite entry model. But if it's combined with a fair value gap, it actually gives a really nice high win rate or high probable entry model. So to explain what a breaker is, as you can see over here, this is my picture of the breaker block entry model. A breaker block consists of a few things. First of all, we need a liquidity sweep over here. With this wick, it doesn't even have to be a wick, it can also be a candle close. And then we need to see a market structure shift over here with a displacement candle. It cannot be a liquidity grab below here, but it needs to displace below, really show it wants to go the other way. And that makes this final candle that took the liquidity over here, so the final down closing candle of the leg that took the liquidity is the actual breaker block. And with this, you get the entry actually on that block you want to enter over here. And if we get a fair value gap right in that breaker block, that makes it a unicorn entry model. So really simple model, but it's really important that you have the liquidity sweep and you get the market structure shift with displacement. Otherwise, it's not a valid entry. So look at let's take a look at a live model over here. What we see over here is that there was some sell side liquidity over here. Price ran through it to take it. So if we draw a line here, this was a liquidity sweep. Then price started pushing up higher with this candle over here. Let me zoom in a bit. So after taking the liquidity, this was your last high. It made a market structure shift over here. With the displacement candle, leaving a fair value gap also over here. So the white box is the fair value gap. And the last up closing candle is the breaker block of the sweep of the liquidity. This was the final up closing candle over here. So this is the breaker block. And then it created a displacement, creating market structure shift. And then price came back right into that fair value gap and took off. So this is the unicorn entry model. However, every PD array needs to have narrative around it, right? Because this can also be violated when we have a bearish bias. So it's really important that you get the bias correct, that you know which time frames you're trading and what you're aiming for. Let's say this was the 5 minute. If you took the entry here, you want, of course, to aim for the first highs over here and not go to the moon on some target on the daily time frame. So you should always make a plan around it. What are your targets? What is your bias? What is your total narrative? What are you aiming for? And where should your stop loss go? And take the according risk management, of course. But if your bias is correct, and you know this is some sort of power of 3, so a manipulation lower and then taking it up higher. And of course, it needs to be in a kill zone. Let me see if that was the case here. Oh, it was Asia. I don't trade Asia actually. However, this green box for me is the Asia kill zone. So time and price need to really align. So you get your bias, you know what you're looking for, so maybe some sort of power of 3 move, where you want to get in after the manipulation, and you want to enter into a kill zone, into a session where it makes sense to enter, because that's where the volume is and that's where the algorithm actually will serve you. So, of course, those are the things you need to keep in mind. And then these kind of PD arrays, these kind of entry models really work well. So you can make it your concept, which one you always use, and not use any different models. Of course, that's possible. You can make it your model and only trade things like this. So if you want to build like a narrative bias and want to build your own models and stuff like that, I really recommend just joining my course, of course, and the community. You can ask all the questions you want, but start looking for this in the charts, guys. It's really, I love this entry model. So start looking for it. And if you want to join my lovely, lovely community, there's such a nice people in there, then come and join. If you don't like it, then you only spend like $55. And well, if you cannot afford that, you shouldn't even trade. So you can always see if you like it. And yeah, let's make some more videos for you guys. All right. Bye-bye. Have a lovely day.